your boy Jamel Simplified Harry. I need everyone to check out my man Jay Calderon, Boxing Talk.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Jay Calderon from Stan Clay Entertainment and Fight Hook News, and we're about to get into this week's Boxing Talk. Gervonta "Tank" Davis made his pay-per-view debut with a spectacular knockout in the 6th round against Leo Santa Cruz. This was a big matchup for Gervonta "Tank" Davis as he faced his first future Hall of Fame fighter, a 4-division world champion in Leo Santa Cruz, who represented the Mexican-American fighters in the United States. This was a very good fight on paper at 130 pounds, where a lot of people felt that Gervonta Davis would not make the weight. He made the weight and looked very good, very strong in this fight. Leo Santa Cruz, I had him winning the first 2 rounds. He looked strong. He looked big. He was using his size, his reach against Gervonta "Tank" Davis, winning the first 2 rounds. But then I saw in round 3, round 4, and round 5 that the tide was changing. We saw Gervonta Davis boxing beautifully, using his jab, going to the body with some hard shots. He was landing a lot of good, clean, hard shots on Leo Santa Cruz. And you saw something that I've never seen in Leo Santa Cruz. We saw that the punch output, the busyness of Leo Santa Cruz was not there. You didn't see Leo throwing 100 punches in a round the way we are accustomed of seeing Leo Santa Cruz as a workhorse, as a machine in the ring. Leo Santa Cruz wasn't putting out those punches. You know, he was holding back. He didn't want to get on the inside because you could tell that he felt the power of Gervonta Davis early in this fight, and he didn't want it to take that many chances. You know, he was definitely catching Tank with some good shots of his own. And in the 6th round, you saw when he took the biggest risk, where he decided to go toe-to-toe with Tank. And it was an exchange where it was a seesaw battle in that 6th round where both men had their moments in that round. And it was towards the end of the round, I think about 6 seconds left, where you saw Gervonta Davis backing up Leo into that corner and Leo throwing punches. But then you saw Tank, you know, weaving one of those shots and coming right under with a perfectly timed uppercut that landed flush on the jaw of Leo Santa Cruz, and Cruz went down hard and he was knocked out cold. This man leg folded and he was under the ring rope. His father was sitting in the same exact corner in his wheelchair, reaching over to see if Leo was all right. The referee waved the fight off right there and then. This man was not getting up. It was a spectacular knockout of the year for Gervonta "Tank" Davis, who made a big statement in this fight. A lot of people picked Tank to win this fight and also win it by knockout. But the way he went about it, the way he knocked him out, it was a highlight reel knockout, something like a Manny Pacquiao getting knocked out by Juan Manuel Marquez, or even a Sergio Martinez knocking out Paul Williams, or Pacquiao knocking out Ricky Hatton. It's one for the record books, for the history books, a spectacular knockout finish, and Gervonta Davis recaptures the WBA 130-pound junior lightweight title, super featherweight title, whatever you want to call it. He's a 3-time 130-pound champion once again, and simultaneously he defended that secondary WBA lightweight title at 135 pounds because both titles were on the line, and Tank now holds titles simultaneously in 2 weight divisions, 130, 135. He claimed that he is now the man in the boxing world, you know, especially in those 2 weight divisions. But my question is to you, can Tank really claim the throne in either one of these divisions? You know, Tank hasn't fought a legitimate junior lightweight at 130 pounds. We know that Miguel Berchelt is the top dog at 130 pounds with the WBC title. You got guys like Jamal Herring, who holds a WBO title. You have Joseph Jojo Diaz that holds an IBF title. You know, Leo Santa Cruz basically picked up a vacant title, you know, that was belonged to Gervonta Davis, you know, and the whole thing where the WBA made a mess of that whole title situation, we really can't claim that this was a legitimate top champion for Gervonta "Tank" Davis. You know, Davis has to go through the other top dogs in the division. You got guys like Shakur Stevenson now campaigning at 130 pounds. He is the future of boxing and perhaps the best fighter all around at 130 pounds. But he hasn't proven it yet. He still has ways to go. You also have, Oscar Valdez, who's taking that big step up as a young, talented fighter against Miguel Berchelt, something that Gervonta Davis did not do. You also have somebody like Carl Frampton, a 3-division world champion that is now going to get his title shot opportunity against Jamal Herring. So there's a lot of talent at 130 pounds, a lot of big names that Gervonta Davis does not fight any one of these guys because they are all on the Top Rank or Golden Boy promotion or on another network like ESPN or DAZN. Gervonta Davis is not fighting any of these guys. He keeps on being fed strictly PBC and Floyd Mayweather promotion fighters and not fighting the big dog. He might be a star attraction. They're already calling him the next pay-per-view star. But let's be honest, those numbers have not come in yet. And we don't really know what type of pay-per-view numbers he really pulled. Did he do as well as Deontay Wilder or even Errol Spence, where both men have reached over 300,000 plus pay-per-view buys? Did he reach that plateau as those other stablemates at PBC? Or did he do the same type of numbers that the Charlo brothers, who are next in line to be stars of PBC, only did about 100,000 pay-per-view buys? So does Tank fall into that line, or does he fall into the line of Wilder and Spence? So we don't know until those numbers come out, but I don't see Tank being that big of a star just yet. I believe that he can pull a crowd. He had, the first crowd since this pandemic of about 9,000 in attendance. That's a pretty good crowd, especially in these times where COVID is running rampant throughout the United States. It's a step forward. But Tank is definitely an attraction. He puts fans in seats, and we will see if it translates into pay-per-view buys and see if he's the big star. As far as 135 pounds, he holds a secondary title. He is not a true champion in the lightweight division. Teofimo Lopez is the king of the division because he beat the man. The man was Vasily Lomachenko for many years as pound for pound the best fighter in the world to many people, especially boxing experts who saw him as either number 1 or number 2 guy pound for pound on that list. Gervonta Davis is not even on the pound for pound list. If you look at all the top dog fighters in boxing today, he is not on the list. So when you got a guy like Teofimo Lopez who just cracked the pound for pound top 10 list and beat the man to become the man at 135 pounds as the undisputed lightweight champion with all the title belts. We know that Devin Haney has a regular WBC lightweight title, and Devin Haney is a champion just like Gervonta Tank Davis. But these guys, I've been advocating for quite some time. I interviewed Devin Haney quite a few times, and I asked him the same question. I want to see you fight Gervonta Tank Davis. And he says he wants that fight. He wants that smoke. And he has said it publicly that he wants that smoke with Gervonta Tank Davis. Floyd Mayweather knows both of these men real well. He's trained with both of these men. He knows that this is a big future fight that could be on the level of Sugar Ray Leonard versus Tommy the Hitman Hearns, or Sugar Ray Leonard versus Marvin Hagler type situation. A magnitude fight, which is a lot of money, so Floyd's not in a rush to make that fight right now. But I believe that Devin Haney is the man to probably give the most problems at 135 pounds to Gervonta Tank Davis. As far as Teofimo Lopez, like I said, he is the man. Floyd says that Gervonta, if he fights Teofimo Lopez, then we know that he is the A side. You can't say that Gervonta Davis is the A side without beating any of the top dog champions in either weight division, and especially against the king of the division now, Teofimo Lopez. Top Rank is not going to go by that. Top Rank and Floyd Mayweather, Bob Arum, these guys don't get along. And it's going to be very difficult to make this fight. But Al Heyman and Bob Arum have made fights already. And they did for Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, matching both PBC, Fox, Showtime, and also ESPN to do business. So there is a gateway for these guys to make this fight a pay-per-view fight. And I think it would be very big numbers. It's a 50-50 fight, in my book. You know, I lean a little towards Tank in that fight, but Teofimo Lopez is definitely a fighter that can definitely win because he has the size advantage and he also is a big puncher, just like Gervonta Tank Davis. And it's a very interesting fight. So who else is out there? You have Ryan García, who has been advocating that he wants that smoke. He wants Gervonta Tank Davis next. He is fighting for an interim WBC title against the biggest name that he's fought so far on his resume, and that is Luke Campbell, a former Olympic gold medalist, a top 10 lightweight contender. We're going to see where Ryan García lies in his career right now and see how good he is if he could duplicate the performances that he's been having already with other fighters against Luke to prove that he's ready for a title shot and for the big dogs of the division. Now, is he ready for somebody like Tank? I don't think so. I think they both have great star power. They can definitely do a pay-per-view fight. You know, Tank is not going to go over to the zone, so that means Oscar De La Hoya and Floyd Mayweather are going to have to do business and bring Ryan García over to Showtime or even Fox for a pay-per-view event. But I don't see that fight actually happen either because Oscar De La Hoya and Floyd Mayweather don't get along, and it's going to be very hard to make that fight. You know, I think that somebody like Eddie Hearn, who has Devin Haney, and Devin Haney himself that has his own promotional company, and the relationship with Floyd Mayweather, I believe that that fight is the most possible fight, an easier fight to make. I believe that Eddie Hearn will take Devin Haney off of the zone to come over to Showtime or Fox to make that fight a reality in 2021. That's the fight that needs to happen. That's the fight that I would love to see. But we have to wait and see how all these fights are going to play out. Devin Haney's going to fight this weekend against Yorkis Gamboa, somebody that gave Tank Davis a pretty good, decent fight, but Tank was able to knock him out. So, you know, he's coming off an injury as well. We're going to see a very old, faded Yorkis Gamboa against Devin Haney on the zone this Saturday, November 7th. And Devin Haney, I believe, should be able to knock out Yorkis Gamboa. And we're going to measure his performance against Tank's performance and see who did a better job, you know, because Tank didn't look spectacular in that fight. Can Devin Haney look spectacular against the best fighter on his resume? Because none of Devin Haney's previous opponents has the resume of a Yorkis Gamboa, you know, so it's a big step-up fight for him. But like I said, it's a washed-up fighter. We're going to have to see how these fighters move forward at 135 pounds. You know, Tank could go 130 and avoid everybody at 135, but who is he going to fight at 130? He's going to have to fight guys like Miguel Berchelt, Oscar Valdez, Shakur Stevenson, you know, these big dog names in that division in order to prove that he is the man at 130 pounds. In my opinion, I believe Tank beats all these fighters at 130 pounds right now. I want to see the Miguel Berchelt fight the most. But I believe that Miguel Berchelt will get knocked out the same way Leo Santa Cruz got knocked out. You know, I believe that Tank can make the weight. He already proved it, you know, with the solid conditioning and focus that he had in the training camp with Floyd Mayweather, that he can make 130 if he's disciplined. And we saw the type of performance that he put on against Leo Santa Cruz. And I believe he could do that against all the top fighters at 130 pounds. Shakur Stevenson has the best opportunity to give Tank the most problems. But I don't think Shakur is ready yet until he faces guys like Berchelt, you know, Oscar Valdez, Carl Frampton, those type of fighters first before getting to Tank to see if he's ready. You know, I believe Shakur beats all of those guys, but right now I give Tank the edge over Shakur Stevenson at 130 pounds and beating every single person at 130 pounds, the junior lightweight division. As far as 135 is concerned, that's a different story, and we want to see Tank tested against true, legitimate champions. But that's my final take on the fight that took place and future fights that are going to happen. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning into this YouTube channel right here, Jay Calderon Boxing Talk. Please hit that little red subscribe button. Hit that bell icon so you get all my notifications once I drop a new video. Drop a comment, you know, share this video. Also, follow me on social media platforms like Instagram and Twitter, and join the Facebook boxing group page, all under the same name, Jay Calderon Boxing Talk. I'm Jay Calderon for Fight Hook News and Stand Clear Entertainment. Thanks for your support. Keep watching, and please subscribe.